I would say that across the borders, women have something that the world needs even more today than ever before. It is an inner strength that is needed when the world is fighting with words and fighting with their actions, their arms. We need that power of women of being still and create spaces that allows for forgiveness, that allows for the real hearts to meet. The program today was developed in 1997. I think it was 1997, after one of the Brahma Kumaris went to a conference for women in China.
There was a beautiful little girl. Her spirit shone like the multiple rays of the sun. Everyone delighted in her company. She was natural, free, the embodiment of joy itself. She trusted everyone, and that trust was returned. When people met her, they could not help but smile spontaneously. She had the power to transform even the saddest of souls. This little girl's freedom was the freedom of innocence. She seemed somehow fearless and very happily lived that way.
Yeah? Because what you're saying is that no matter how difficult you may be, no matter how complex your personality may be, however serious you've become, however controlling you might have become, that actually what's beneath all of that is very beautiful and very positive, and it's actually the best part of you. So the deeper you dig, it's not darker and worse. Do you see what I mean? It's beautiful. And that's important to realize. The best part of you is within you. It might just be hidden away. So we've called that face the eternal face, to bring that element of it's there and it will always be. It's not disappeared, it's not died, it's not been sold off, it's not been lost. It's still there and it will always be. So we call it the eternal face, but I really love the authentic face, and I also really love the star face. So we'll keep those two. Now, we'll just take a moment to experience that before we move on to what have we become? What have we moved into? But before we start looking at that, especially because you're in a meditation center, we feel it's important to experience it. Because it's when you come from a place of strength, a place of positivity, a place where you're at your best, that you can face anything and everything, even what you've become, that you like it or don't. Does that sound good? We accept things the way they are, and we turn our attention inside and imagine that behind your eyes there's a beautiful space, and it's like a garden. So engage yourself in imagining a garden, however it is. It may be filled with flowers, with blooming trees. It may have hills, rivers, or it may be very small and simple. Just see it or feel it. And walk around in your garden. And as you walk around, you realize there's a path. and you choose to follow that path. And as you walk on that path, you become aware of the path. Is it wide? Is it narrow? Is it smooth? Is it like a golden brick road, or is it a muddy road? Whatever it is, just become aware of it. Imagine, see it, feel it. To accommodate does not mean to compromise. To accommodate does not mean to compromise. I maintain my integrity and the integrity of others with my commitment to truth, faith, and faith in myself. And the beauty is that when you connect with yourself as your truth, it's very similar to the truth within the other. So when you don't compromise that, you don't compromise the truth of others. To make it simple, right? We're all souls. And if I do something that is right for women, then it's not right for men, you understand? With this power, I experience a deep contentment that is impervious to the events around me. And if you think of moments where you really feel content, right? Moments that you feel time flies by and you were fully, involved in something. Usually is you're there with all your heart and you feel very content. It doesn't mean that you've done a lot of things, right? It doesn't mean that you've gone through your to-do list. It means that you were in it fully. Of any choice I make, I no longer react. It requires that I trust my higher self, even in the face of opposing opinions, and I listen to what is known deep within. So we're starting to listen to our conscience again. And being intelligent in the world is, they do these IQ tests. You've done those IQ tests? Yeah, and I was meant to do an IQ test to go to my high school. And it basically is, you have to add 1 + 1 = 2 very quickly. You need to say between the square, the rectangle, and the circle, which one doesn't fit. You need to have a bit of knowledge, general knowledge. And then they tell you, what's benefit, what's a loss. At every point in time, if you're able to say that and see that clearly, would you be able to make good choices? Definitely. And meditation is a good way to develop. Next one is the power to decide, and the color is yellow. Who's chosen yellow? Oh, very few yellow. Did you forget to put the yellow bowl out or something? Oh, you got 1, 2. Good. Did you get yellow? Did you take yellow? Oh, no. Yellow is the power to decide, and we also say the power to judge. When you go to court and the judge says, I've listened to everything, now this is the decision. Bong, whatever it is, right? Finished. Make a decision, get it done. Right? Judge. I've discriminated, I know what's right, I know what's wrong. And we often stay in that forever, right? We know it's not right, we know it's not right, we never move on to make a decision and do it. So that's that power. This is the power of truth, the power to choose the truth and to stand alone in that truth, no matter what. It is intrinsically connected with the power to know, and takes much of its clarity from that power. I can often know the best course of action, can be absolutely certain, but without the power to free from any attachment to the outcome of my decision. I must make the decision, follow through, but not be concerned about confusion and ultimately disappointment. I must also understand that whatever decision I make is destined and accurate. I will always learn and benefit from it. That's a whole shift of attitude. I really have consulted myself. I know what's the right thing to do. I stand by it. And if it proves to create a lot of reaction or not be completely right, instead of feeling guilty, I learn from it and I bring that learning into my next decision. Yeah, it's a different attitude. Okay, power to face, red. Yes, I'm sure usually red is very popular. Okay, that's the power to face. The main attributes of this power is, it's not to be cajoled with. You made your decision and then someone is saying, but I don't love you anymore. You say, no. Power to face is have a lot of courage and say, well, and then, unwrap, explain what you mean and what is going on. Don't say, then I reject you. No, you can't. Power to face takes a lot of courage. And then the last one, therefore, is the orange. One of the biggest enemy to get back to this is what? What are my biggest enemy to go back up? Ego? Someone else said something. Negativity? And another big one? I think that Harmony House must have some kind of good omens around it. It attracts a lot of people, and I found that today people were not only interested, they were very interactive. So I loved being here, and the facilities are, I would say, to make the life of a facilitator super easy. So anyone that comes here hopefully gets what they're looking for. I think a 3-hour workshop was just enough time to start to touch the subject that we wanted to touch today, but enough so that everyone felt free to come here. So the audience today was very receptive. And I suppose that the service here, the Brahma Kumaris have been here for quite many years, but somehow there's something new about Harmony House, and it attracts people. It's very welcoming, it's very open, and I think the variety of activities allows for everybody to get what they want and what they need. So beautiful place, and I think it has a lot to offer, and I'm sure it will continue to grow.
So today we've been here on the 4 Faces of Women seminar, and I've taken from it that you need to look deeper into yourself, think about your true qualities, and focus upon them in your daily life, and always try and get back to those and not become too influenced or negative by all the different that you have to do and the different roles that you have to do, and try and apply your best self to everything that you're doing.
I think I've thoroughly enjoyed just empowering women and making us feel who we are, respecting ourselves, looking into our inner self, and I've taken a lot out of this, making sure who I am. From today's session, I feel that I'm going to value myself, love myself, respect myself. It's going to be challenging, no doubt, but it's coming and accepting all these changes into my life. Oh, definitely, yes. Not just for women, but I would say for men as well. I think it's a session not just for women, but it's also changing the men's identity, thinking, etc., etc.
So you found that you should change men more than women?
Yes.
Oh no, let me see. You can have that one. I'll bring that
One of the great things I took from today was remembering what the 8 powers was, what the 8 powers are, and recapping on that, trying to get the stability and everything right, and the consciousness as the soul is quite interesting. The power to decide is one of the key powers that I need to work on. So I'm going to look into that and contemplate a lot more on that. It opens up the mind, it gives you bit of time to yourself, which we often don't get and we don't do.
That we have 4 facets, the first and the fourth, which are our originals, but I know I'm actually living in the second and the third, the traditional and the modern, and I shift from the third to the second all the time. And today I learned that I don't need to live in that, and I can move on and be positive, be yes, and be the...
And attended the seminar for Four Faces of Women, and I found it really, really interesting in the sense that it's probably helped me a little further in my journey in excavating some of the thoughts and the issues that I might be dealing with, and now I'm going to deal with a more positive attitude. So in a way it's made me a more powerful woman, and I think I need people to understand that we are very powerful women, and I am going to come away today and tell others that we are powerful.